Fancy seeing you here. Try and keep up. Don't lose sight of it.
What's up, everybody? New Thorns character time.
But I still respect their valor.
And I'm leveling this character a budget character. I have no runes of teething in my gear. I'm using only, like, cheap Thorns gear. Just because I haven't leveled with cheap Thorns gear in a while. I've always used my Twink Thorns. Just to get a new taste of what it's like to level without the runes of tithing. Yep, we're doing Fire Thorns. Thinking on a Warbringer. But we'll be going Avatar of Fire.
Cower!
Flask charges. There should be a checkpoint here, yep.
My strength grows.
We're leveling Palm for now just because I like Palm, but I imagine because of Aggravate Ignite, we're going to be using Spears. Though I could see using Spears for bosses only. But I doubt it. Because we're probably going to have to use like a mace for bossing. Uh-oh. Too much damage being taken, I'm gonna die. I always forget to upgrade my flask. I need to get better habit of doing that. I gotta kill that witch at the start of every game. And just kill that flask. Figured there'd be one over here. That one's probably over there. But no new Flaskas. No Thorns Leech hurting too. I need to put Thorns Leech on my neck until I can get it anointed. Little kite sesh. Then you're fine.
Who is that?
That was him. Oops. See, I thought the last one would be over here, but all three are really, like, congested right here. Well, I don't have much Thorns damage in this current set. Only 13 to 27. We have no tithing, so... Oh, that's more than enough to kill him, though. Yeah, I'm probably going Warbringer. That's how I'll break. That's how I'll break armor. Would be hard to make Fire Thorns work otherwise consistently. You'd have to do really dumb things. But nope, we're going Warbringer.
There is nothing left to defend. Face me!
This is more than likely going to be a Will It Thorns video and not a actual good build. But we're just having fun. We'll see how it goes. My mic volume might be low. I could try adjusting it and moving it closer. I'm also leaning back and not talking very loud. Let me know if this is any better. If not, I can make a few more adjustments. Also, hey Spectre, how you doing? That helped? Cool.
been many years. Does the witch still live here? You were no warrior. It seems no one is safe from corruption.
What is Mortal Kombat? I'm using Killing Palm right now.
Become dirt.
It's fun. I'm probably going to have to play Spear ultimately with Fire Thorns because of Aggravate Fire, or whatever, Aggravate Ignite.
There'll be no passage here.
But I like the palm leveling style at least. Farming wolves in every game. Yeah, I wanted to do it on Smith-Katava because obviously Smith-Katava is like, oh, Fire Thorns, right? But I think Warbringer needs to be the play when thinking about it. Warbringer just makes it easier to wear Chernobog and a bunch of other stuff.
I would have. Till next time.
So, yeah. Probably Warbringer.
Release that which you hold.
And yeah, like I said, I'm not leveling with any runes of tithing, so we're getting like a kind of League Start-ish type experience here.
Grim tangle. The overgrown sinkhole.
I imagine we're going to get more flavors of Thorns runes over time. I think it's just an inevitability. This is just the starting point, you know. We shall see what happens, though.
Magic still thrive. The way's open. Please.
For a moment, everything felt alive.
Dang, dude. Hey, what's up, lady?
Face me!
I don't know if Smith-Katava needs help offensively. I mean, obviously, half of the Ascendancy is just balls right now. All of that needs to be fixed, but if Smith was only... I'm about to die. I hate this place without Life Leech. I don't have the Leech anointed right now. We can make it out a bit. They need to fix the half of the Ascendancy that's bad, but I still really like Smith. It being as good as it is defensively is, like, really nice. Like, there's a lot of builds I just want to play Smith on by default just because I don't have to worry about, Oh, my helmet killed me there. I forgot my helmet's doing damage to myself. That might be hurting me too much. But yeah, I mean, the fire stuff and the weapon tempering stuff, like, you go the armor smithing stuff on Smith just because the rest of it's ass. I don't know if that other stuff needs to be made into offensive stuff, but it needs to be made into useful stuff, that's for sure. Yeah, I haven't even, like, it's not even worth venturing into that other stuff, it's that bad. The weapon summon thing and the temper weapon, they're just bad. Well, based on, like, my plan, or hope, not plan, my hope is with my feedback video that GGG eventually lets us put passive support gems into Thorns. And in that situation, you could put, I think it's called Elemental Focus in Thorns, which means you don't inflict ailments anymore. So there are ways to make cold Thorns never freeze. I didn't even want to fight this guy. Am I able to just leave his hut? Be like, fuck you. See ya, dude. Nope, I have to fight him. I hate fighting poison people when I don't have leech. But yeah, if you let us anoint Thorns, not anoint, if you let us put support gems in Thorns, I think we die here. Nope, we can face tank it. And then you can make Thorns not freeze that way. So all the ailments could definitely work. And then of course with 3 dragons, you make sure cold and freeze build up ignite. But yes, cold Thorns would be the least appealing of the bunch. For sure. A lot, dude. We're about to kill like thousands and thousands of things. Buckle up. If they added any Thorns support directly to the Ascendancy Spectre, that would be awesome. Like, obviously, I want, like, the Smith of Katava Masterwork to have, like, a Thorns option there. Because your chess piece is so huge for Thorns. So if, like, you had a Smith of Katava option that was, like, more Thorns damage, that would solve Lady's problem with, like, there not being many offensive options on the tree, but... yeah. I don't know if they'll ever actually add, like, directly Thorn stuff to the passive tree. I don't think they want, like, there to be an Ascendancy that plays Thorns always. And the moment you start adding, like, super OP Thorn stuff to Ascendancies, it would have to be very targeted, like you said, for something, like, specifically for Fire Thorns or something. Man, not using any Teethings, you feel the difference. I haven't played without Teethings in a while. Oof. And nor Thorns Leech either. I should just anoint that. No reason not to anoint it. It's such a cheap anoint.
Fear will best you.
What the fuck? I need some levels before I can do this boss, that's for sure.
I will put the Eternals back in their graves.
At level 8, I get a bunch of new Thorns gear. Because level 8's the first spike in Thorns rolls. So I need to grind to 8, and then we can, we'll be a lot better off. Because right now I only have 8 to 17 Thorns damage. That's all my damage, so. My stats are good. We'll do strength. I have a Shattering Palm Titan build on my channel, Wriggles. In case you haven't seen it. For Thorns. I just need to put Thorns Leech on my Anoint. Or is it just going to be too painful? I have a good neck. Don't I have necklaces in my stash? Where are my Thorns necklaces? I know I have... Because eventually I'm just going to have Thorns... I'm pathing towards the Leech right now, so... Maybe I should just path towards crit, but... We won't need the Anoint for long. Where are my Thorns stuff? I swear I had neck someplace. Here's all my level 8 stuff. I'll go ahead and get this shit out. Level 8 chest. Level 8 shield. Which chest do I want to wear? I'll wear this one. Level 8 belt. Oh, we have 2 8 belts. I'll wear this one. Okay, there's all my level 8 gear. I know I have more Thorns stuff. Where are my Thorns necklaces? That's level 14 though. I need Vengeance way sooner. I mean, I'll just enchant my new one with Vengeance. I won't need it for long. I'm like 5 points away or whatever. Guilt, Fear, Envy. I'm sure I have that. I don't have a fear. Oh, a bit of fear. I have too many characters this league. Look how many characters I've leveled. All of those in Endgame, but this guy. There's no getting rid of the helmet. Like, you can pretend that you're having fun without the helmet, and you can pretend that it's working without the helmet, but you're like... There's going to be so many moments that you're going to be like, smiling, gritting your teeth through, where it's like, if I had the helmet on right now, it'd be so much better. And then when the helmet, you have the moments where you do the fun one-shots the bosses. That's like... You're sacrificing an insane amount of fun to be more optimal, and I hate that type of gameplay. If that's how you play the game, that's fine with me. You know, I'm not trying to criticize you, but I'm not doing that, right? Like, giving up the helmet, like, sure, your bossing's going to have slightly better DPS if you're running low life helmet, but I don't give a fuck, you know? I will take the, I'll take the loss and damage to make sure I'm always have that effect. Now, hopefully we can get it removed from the helmet, but... Yeah, I don't know, the helmet's just... The helmet is... It's not that it's... Like, obviously, the helmet, using it sucks at late game, you know? It sucks using it at late game. But the effect is fun, period. When you're doing Doriani or whatever, or not Doriani, Jamandra, and you're one-shotting him with the helmet, that's fun. And I'm not getting rid of that fun. Did I even do what I meant to do? I did. There we go. Alright, that'll just make it easier for now. And we'll just go ahead. I feel like I should level... Like, if I'm leveling Fire Thorns, I should be leveling Spears because of Scytha's Spear. Like, I feel like you just go Bleed, Ignite, Thorns. If I'm doing this, like, Avatar of Fire build. And you force Scythas. But I'm gonna level Palm, just because I like Palm right now. Palm's fun. I don't have the into upgrade it right now. Well, good luck, Wriggles. It sounds cool. Keep me updated on how it goes. There's not very many people doing Thorn stuff right now, so I don't really get to talk about that kind of stuff with people very often. Yeah, I assumed it'd be shield charge. Right now in my stash, I have a Chernobog and that Sacred Flame just to like be memey with the extra fire damage stuff. There's a lot of stuff we're going to test when we get to Endgame. Avatar of Fire is definitely not good, though. It will not be one of my better performing Thorns builds. It will perform, though, to something. Yeah, no staff is, I feel like if you can make staff work, on a budget, which right now I feel like it's too hard to make it work well on a budget, survivability-wise. I just don't have the Thorns damage to live right now. Staff would be better, but right now you have to play unarmed with shield. I've seen some cool staff builds, and obviously I was leveling the staff version on my monk, but I don't like dying that much. I like having high block chance with Thorns. Yeah, Palm and Shield's the way to play it, for sure. That's how I've been playing it on my Titan. Yeah, I'm just going to accept that I'm going to die a couple times until I get this Thorns upgrade right here. This gear should help. It's going to, like, more than double my Thorns damage. I have plenty of tithings I can use, and I have gear with tithings in them. I'm just choosing not to use them. Like I said, we're just going to accept we're going to die a few times until we get that Thorns damage. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing with this build. Probably not. I doubt I'm doing Avatar of Fire with Recoup. That'll be stretched way too thin. There we go. I don't have the int for that. We can fix that right here. I needed int for anything, something else anyway. Now we can upgrade Killing Palm. Alright, Thorns damage is currently at 8 to 17. It's about to go to 21 to 29. So even our bottom end is higher than our top end before, so. I bet we can swap back to the helmet now. We'll see. Oof. Definitely hitting harder. There we go. Now that's much better. All it takes is one set of gear upgrades to level 8. Basically, every bracket you upgrade your Thorns gear, your damage is going to more than double. So yeah. You just gotta get levels for Thorns, and then you get scaled. Through the campaign, at least. Then you can usually use level 60 Thorns gear to grind to Waystone 18s, 15s. With just scavenge plating. Thanks, Mr. Flappo. I'm excited. I've been holding off on Fire Thorns for a while. I hope it goes well. No, I never hold Ray Shield. If you're not attacking, why are you playing? Not getting Thorns procs. Oof. It's been a while since I've leveled without tithings. The damage difference is pretty big. Making me question fresh starting the palm leveling style. We'll see. Because having the added damage of like a spear or a mace on top of the Thorns damage would help a lot more with the leech. I hate bleed. I thought you were done with Thorns? Me too. Me too. You just stop making so many fun builds. I'm bored. Where's the next patch? Where's 3.2 or where's 0.22? I don't like the helmet. Man, that fucking rare is pummeling. Get away from him. Some rares aren't worth killing. Alright, this boss fight's not gonna go well. Yeah, when I did the killing palm style on my monk and titan, I was leveling with tithings, and tithings were enough to carry, with like no additional damage from a weapon, but not using tithings. Like the reason I'm not leveling with tithings right now is to prepare for league start, so I can get like an idea of what it's like to level again without any additional Thorns damage, right? So right now we only have Thorns damage from the gear. And killing palm on its own is not satisfying me enough to where I feel like I'll be leveling either with a mace or a spear. Like spear plus stopping ground if that doesn't get nerfed, or just any like mace strike would be better than this. Predictions on the next league? Like what do you mean? Like when it comes out? Or like what am I playing? Like what?
Right of the full moon.
Come back here.
Draven, I need you. Your soul is mine. No escape. Now, you are mine. Forever.
Yeah. Like, without the tithings, I'm doing such minor Thorns damage that, it just feels like I'm intentionally making my DPS worse by not playing with a mace or a spear this early on.
Sacrificial.
I think we revisit, Palm style, maybe, when we get Shattering Palm. But I don't know, I'm gonna stick with it for now.
Your cruelty
We'll
was
see.
immortalized in song, Asinia. Your
When I do the if I do a leveling guide for this character, I might not be recommending palms. That's for sure.
You sensed it too, did you? The spirit is near.
Yeah, Rake Stomping Ground is just too good. Like, what am I expecting them to add?
not been abandoned.
I'm not sure. Oh, the homie Dead Rabbit. What's up, bro? How's your gambling addiction doing? Are you retiring permanently, or are you going to be back again, wasting more divines next season? I saw the scepters. And I saw, like, some focuses. I didn't see the bells. Dopamine achieved? Hell yeah, bro. I didn't get to watch all of it, but it was fun. Thanks for the host, brother. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are just started a new Thorns character. We are leveling a Fire Thorns. We're going to try out Avatar of Fire with Thorns, and I'm not expecting it to do overall pretty well, but we're just giving it a go. He just sold a mega for 1 mirror in between like it was nothing. Jeez. I think I've seen maybe 100 divines, and this guy's sitting here gambling 10,000 divines or however much it was. What a legend. Thanks for the raid, bro. Hope you have a good night. Yeah, this is going to be a less dopamine-filled stream. Not only am I leveling Thorns, but I'm leveling budget Thorns to prepare for 0.3. I'm not using any runes of tithing, so I don't have any of the badass 1 to 100 Lightning Thorns runes. I'm using all budget gear. Well, it's not all budget gear. I've got, like, uniques prepared and stuff, but I'm not using any of, like, the Juice Thorns runes because I'm not going to be leveling with those, obviously, in 0.3 launch. So we're just trying stuff out. We're bored, as is Rabbit, as you can tell. But yeah, I got Chernobog prepared with a 50% Thorns damage enchant. Oh, I forgot about this. Got +3 Prison Bleed for Scavenge Plating. We're doing silly stuff. I always like to show this to new viewers when they show up, especially when I get hosted. I hope the states of my tabs upsets you. My dump tabs are in a amazing state right now. Look at all these unidentified... Oh, these are identified breach rings. Look at my dump tabs. We are horribly organized over here. I know this gives some people PTSD. Yeah, you see, I got ultimatums here. I don't know why. Alright, back to level 1. What are we looking at in total? Oh, this is like... I mean, all the uniques I already had, but you can get all these uniques for 1 Exalt. It's like everything was like Some of these were regal orbs. Like, this is very budget Thorns. Like, I'm just trying to get as close to a fresh start experience as I can. Because the Runes of Teething, when you have them socketed in your gear for Thorns, they one-shot everything. Like, you one-shot every boss in the campaign. No joke, I'm not trolling. I've got plenty of videos that you can see me one-shotting, like, bosses while leveling. But that's not the experience you're going to get 0.3 launch, right? So...
The spirit's young. Rend your soul. Ascendancy, cut down.
I am here.
The Eternals will never.
And I'm testing Palm builds for Thorns right now. I've just leveled a Titan on a Palm Thorns build, and it worked great. But I leveled that with Teethings, and yeah, I'm disliking Palms without Teethings. I'd rather have like Mace Strike or some form of Spear build right now. Just because the Palm is not doing, like, the Unarmed is not adding any single target DPS, whereas if we were doing Mace Strike right now, that would just be better.
This was my pleasure.
Alright, Lachlon is actually going to be a problem. We might actually need to swap the Mace Strike. Level am I? 9.
You did it. At last, it's open. Praise the first ones. What is this? Grave.
Pretty much, Kim, for any Thorns build, really. For any Thorns build, it's just maximum life, maximum res cap, and then as much Thorns damage as possible. Some Thorns builds you do recoup, some Thorns builds you do leech, but
Eternals. I must.
block. A lot of them do block.
I must make them suffer.
Nice. Didn't know if we'd be able to tank that. I'm out of life last, so we need to kill him, like, now-ish. Is Thorn build you can level up with no pro...
The first one's old man. You've
I don't... So, like, if you're talking league start, 0 trading, it might be rough. Like, you have to get, like... So right now, there's no league starting Thorns at all, because Barbs, this support gem here, and Quillburst, this support gem here, they're required to play Thorns. They're what make your Thorns damage apply to your auto attacks, really. It's not required, but it helps so much. And these are tier 3 support gems, so you can't even get these until you're in Cruel. So right now, leveling Thorns is just kind of like not a thing. I'm hoping they are making changes to make it easier. That's what I'm preparing for. But if they do make those changes, yeah, you could probably level it. Solo self-found if you know how to craft and navigate.
has twisted these wilds beyond recognition.
It's definitely a style that you're going to want to trade more for. Here, I'll show my Titan real quick. I think my Titan's my only Thorns character I have set up right now. Where is he? I have so many freaking characters. I don't remember the names of each one. Like, the problem with Thorns and solo self-found is... I don't even know if I still have all the right gear on him. It's just so damn unique heavy. So, like, just in general, like, this is, like, the simplest Thorns build I've done. It's not, like, super gear intensive, and it has 3 uniques on it. So, it's just, like, it's so hard to do without trade. It's a fun map I can show real quick. Is my gear good? I don't have the Prism of Belief in right now. We'll be fine with that. You know, we'll put it in. Was I just never using one? I might have just never been using one. Okay, it's a spec where you have to take damage to deal damage, so, like, it's hard to make work on solo self-found because you gotta be tanky. But, once you have the uniques, then you're doing silly shit like this, you know? Oh, I didn't break armor. I was like, why is my damage so low? I always forget I have to break armor at the start of maps. There we go. Now we're getting the cascades I was looking for. I was like, why is it looking so different? It's been a while since I played the build. I forgot you have to break armor. Once you get Thorns build going, it gets going. It takes a lot to get going, so it's just like I never recommend them solo self-found. Oh! Yeah, there's this build where you have to take damage to deal damage. You know, you're gonna die a lot doing it too, but... Oh, gotta break armor. Gotta remember to break armor. That was a cool explosion. But this is what the build will look like at some point. You did Beerus post-nerf? Beerus was still fine post-nerf. It just couldn't boss anymore. And once you played it pre-nerf, it was like... Ugh. Yeah. I miss Beerus. Can you Thorns with Infernalist and Demon form? There wouldn't be much value to it. Thorns isn't spell damage. You could Arctic Armor if you wanted to Arctic Armor with Demon form. I've done that build before. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to swap to Rake Swap Stomping Ground. The Killing Palm technique is not gonna work with the budget gear. Unfortunately. Not without Tithings. With Tithings, we don't need the Killing Palm. Okay, I have to. Oh, I do have gems. Okay. Spear, rake. I'm sure I got some unique spear I can just slap in that's usable low level. Sure. You know what? We'll do this one, because that other one knocks back. Barbs. And then... I should have a stomping ground already. Now we don't have a super high strength, but it should still be fine for now. I was wondering if that fire ring that curts fire to chaos. I was thinking about using that in I was thinking about using that in my Arctic armor build, actually. I don't think it would be great for Thorns. Because a majority of your Thorns damage still comes from Scavenge Plating. Which is... gonna be physical damage. And until we get more reliable ways to convert physical to elemental... then, yeah, I don't see it.
Is that what's been eating our cattle?
That's much better. Yeah. Palm is a good twink leveling spec. Spears or mace is definitely going to be better. League start. Oh, with the current balance. Alright. And yeah, it just makes sense to do Spear since I predict we're going to be doing Scytha, Spear, Aggravate, Ignite since we're doing Fire. If we can make that even work, I don't even know if that interaction will work. Because it aggravates Ignite when you bleed. And this makes you do no non-physical damage, so will we even be able, or you just do no non-fire damage? Like, so will I even be able to bleed? I don't think so. So maybe that won't even work. Maybe it won't even work. Yeah, I've had Crowbell bug out before too, where he gets trapped in phase 2. You DPS him too fast that he doesn't recognize that he transitions. Yeah, I've had that bug happen before. Pretty funny.
This is where the clanless live. There are far more of them than I expected.
I think the next big Thorns damage upgrade, like obviously I get these uniques at different points, but the next big Thorns level up for rare gear is 16. I think it's 16, 28, 38, 48, 60. I imagine Rake Stomping Ground is getting nerfed though. KallTorak.
What sinister shadow lurks here?
Agreed, lady. Stomping Ground is very good. Like, it's not even like I'm using Manganords right now for the extra 50 strength from a low-level belt. You know, it's still just, like, doing so much. Maybe they will leave it be, though. Hey, what's up, Orc? How you doing, bro? Level 11's new boots. We got more Thorns damage now, and our Thorns crit is way higher. So that's just going to make leveling easier. Yeah, I haven't streamed in like 2 days. I just needed a little break from the game. Been grinding a lot lately and didn't really know what I wanted to level yet. I was torn between doing this character and my KallTorak's character, and yeah. Ended up going with this one. Hey, what's up, Percent Mike? How you doing, bro? I really hope 0.2.2 is sometime soon. I don't know if we're still getting it. It seems it might be a little late for that. But GGG did say we are getting another mid-season patch. And I'm really curious what it would be. Like, I was thinking about taking a break until that patch. Because I'm hoping like some cool balance changes come that you get to test out, but I figure whatever. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm... Unless it's end of August, right? So then we're 6 weeks away. But even if it's end of August, it still feels like it's a little too late for a 0.2.2, right? That's where my head's at with it. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Are we actually going to get a 0.2.2? Yeah, it would have to be like now. 0.2 would have to be like now. Well, I would hope the 0.2.2 patch would be like giving us like just nice things that are coming in 0.3 that like are just good for the people playing now, or they're soft tests for that full future patch. But who knows? Buffs would be nice, yeah. I would imagine my thought with 0.2.2
Shadows should remain where they belong.
was that they were just going to buff a bunch of skills. And that's what I would be spending the rest of the patch doing, is playing all the buff skills and like getting them a twirl before 0.3. That was what my guess would be, is they were buffing stuff, but I don't know if that's happening now. Because again, depends on when in August it is. We know it's coming in August. What is it? Yeah, like we have 6 weeks at most. So, just seems a little too late, you know?
I can put right one thing, at least.
How would I level that character if it was you? I mean, Thorns. Thorns is fun. But you'd have to, like, trade and get all the uniques and stuff for it, buddy. If you know how to trade and you have exalts. Hell yeah, man. Thorns fun. And I would like to see, like, I don't know, like, endgame updates. Like, not like content updates, but like, farming a lot of the endgame things right now kind of sucks, you know? I don't even see the point in doing ritual anymore, because 90% of the time I'm getting dog ass. Did I pick up the loot? I did. Just making sure. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff they could squeeze in that I wouldn't mind testing for them right now, you know? That's what this early access is for, right? Testing, so get some stuff in that they want tested before 0.3, just in case, you know, they're not going to like it for that launch. That's already been put in, lady. You already get your breach rewards at the end. Yeah, you get your splinters at the end now. Yeah, something like that. Exactly, Orc. Just little things like that that just gets us players that are still playing testing. Obviously, you're not gonna, like, I'm not asking, release 30 new skills right now, right? Like, 25 new uniques. That's not what I'm asking, right? You know, just, and if nothing comes, that's fine. That's where I'm thinking. That's where my head's at right now, is nothing's coming. If something's coming, though, it'll be this week. I just think they were dealing with the turbulence of 3.26 for longer than they wanted. And yeah, they're in 0.3 mode now, not 0.22 mode. But I would love for that to not be the case. By the way, I know a bunch of you guys right now are watching are Dead Rabbit fans. Dead Rabbit and I might be collaborating on something very soon. I don't know if he's teased it at all on his stream or YouTube channel much, but him and I, alongside another creator, might be starting a podcast very soon. Probably in the coming weeks. The first episode will be out. Path of Exile 2 podcast.
Out for another hunt, are you? Try and keep up. Don't lose sight of it.
Hey, yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at. Felipe is like, I just expected 0.22 to be sooner than now. So unless it's like literally dropping right now, but that would mean that 0.30 isn't until the end of August, which it could be the case, but I don't know. It just feels, yeah. I'm not sure what their timeline is right now, but I don't expect a 0.22. And if we do get a 0.22, it'll be a smaller patch than people expect.
Face me!
Justice will be served. We'll cut down the throat. Kill our criminal.
Death is not revenge enough for what you've done.
Yeah, look at all those heads, man. Nasty. Interesting. Well, yeah, if they did drop 0.22, that might be able to cram them stuff in for 0.30 fast easier.
None
I
will
mean,
stop me from enacting vengeance.
we'll see what happens. Looking forward to it. Yeah, me too. I really like Dead Rabbit a lot. I used to be like a part of a big Heroes of the Storm podcast. We used to do an episode every week. I think we had like 200 plus episodes or something. We ran for like years. I know that math doesn't check out. Like obviously you miss weeks every once in a while, but yeah, I've just been, ever since I've done the Try podcast and then I did the Blazeworks TV podcast. I don't know, I've just been itching to do podcasting again, so starting a podcast with some of my favorite creators. Right now, it's looking like me, Dead Rabbit, and Miso Shiro. Everything's still early on in the discussions, but yeah, all three of us are just grinding PUT like mad. See us playing it for the next foreseeable future, and we all love talking about it, so podcast hype. It's great for the downtime, and honestly, like, there is so much that can be talked about in this game. Like, the other day, like, I'm releasing a video soon. It might be coming out tomorrow, actually. I'm not sure yet. But I'm releasing a video soon talking about the state of crit in the game. About how, like, 80% of builds, maybe 80% is not accurate. I'm just throwing out a random number. But, like, for me, almost all of my builds are crit builds. And I know a majority of endgame builds end up leaning towards crit. And that's whether they're ailment-based or not ailment-based, right? And there's lots of reasons for that. And, you know, that's what the video's about. And I would love to be able to have, like, a podcast discussion about it, right? Like, there's a million topics like that that you can bring to a podcast to have. And the community needs those discussions. But right now, we really only get podcasts, like, every 6 months. New Titan build? I'm thinking Warbringer. I'm doing Fire Thorns, and for some reason I'm wanting to force Chernobog or Svalin. I want to try Chernobog first. Because, obviously because Chernobog does fire damage. In order to use a Chernobog well, that's a budget Chernobog, you need the extra block chance from Warbringer, and because I'm doing Avatar of Fire, Warbringer lets you break armor with all damage. And, yeah, because I'm doing Avatar of Fire specifically, Warbringer just enables it across the board in a lot of ways. So I'm going Warbringer on this character. Oh, I was reading chat. Yeah, Turtle Charm and, like, the Anvil.
Hear our laments. Sanity recedes ever
further into
I mean, my first Warbringer characters for both leagues have been, my first Thorns characters have always been Warbringers. Warbringer is, like, arguably the best and easiest Thorns character.
settles our minds. It sits poised.
Okay, I won't die to this time.
Nowhere is safe.
Is a totem build a good league starter? I've never done a totem build. Well, I guess Artillery Ballista counts as a totem. And that was always okay for me. But no, I don't have the experience in totem builds to be able to give you a good answer. Yeah, we'll be going for... I mean, Titan is arguably the best when it talks to, like, peeking out the damage.
That's one of us will not leave this manor alive.
But Warbringer is just, like, so comfy. Especially when you're on a budget.
Face me!
Yeah, the Jade skill's a little bit better now. It's still not great. I still never use it, but it's not like dead weight now. It's at least has some passive value, but it's not great, yeah. Hey, what's up, Umpty? How you doing, bro? Yeah, Philippe. I mean, so just in general with, like, there's a reason why melee builds, especially in, like, ARPGs, are, like, the least played percentage builds. Like, when you're close to things, you're getting hit constantly, right? Versus a ranged build. You're attacking something from a distance. Your survivability isn't as important with ranged builds. Obviously, it matters, but it's not near as important as with ranged builds as it was melee builds. You are getting hit always with melee builds. Like, there's no avoiding it. Like, you're going to get hit several times every map, every boss. Like, it's just going to happen. Especially with Thorns build specifically, where you're required to get hit. So you're just, by default, required to build in defensives. And that either means you're spending lots of passive points into those defensives, or you're putting a lot of your investment in currency into those defensives. And that just all leads to you needing to spend more currency to make melee builds work. It's just an unfortunate downside to being a melee main in these games, but yeah, that's just how it be. If a melee build is ever inexpensive, it's probably broken and getting nerfed. Because that just means it kills everything before it has a chance of touching you, and those always tend to get nerfed. Okay, so funny thing about the Arctic Armor build. For the last, like, 3 weeks of me making builds, I've been bitching about how I've been super broke, right? And I haven't been able to afford anything. When I made that Arctic Armor build, I even tell in the video, my Prism of Belief for the Arctic Armor I bought was like 2 to 3 Divine when I bought it. It might have even been cheaper than a Divine. I forget. It was super cheap. You look at my currency now, I have 28 Divine now. Earlier this week, or like 2 days ago, I had like over 50 Divine. I sold my Prism of Belief for Arctic Armor for 50 Divine. So, what was an insanely cheap build to make when I made that video, only because there's a scarcity right now, because no one's playing the league anymore, there just aren't any Arctic Armor +3s. So now that a bunch of people were wanting to play it, it went from like a 1 Divine item to a 50 Divine item. And now I have funded my next several builds. I bought a bunch of really good Thorns gear. That's where most of that Divine went. And now I have 28 Divine left over. It's the richest I have been this league. My friends tell me it's called the Malthil effect. They say that anytime he makes a build, like, he always makes budget builds, and then after the day after, they're, like, worth... It goes from, like, 1 divine to 500 divine. This has happened to me, like, 2 or 3 times now. And this is, like, the most extreme case of it. Where a single item on my build went from, like, sub-divine to 50 divine. It's the first time, like, it's the most extreme case of this happening to me. It's like literally like the biggest turnaround on a piece of gear I've had. Usually I make money off of my builds flipping them, but not like this.
First one's high. You dare mock me. Oriana, open the cage. Release the beast. Give me what you promised.
Yeah, that's why you gotta play the two-handed mace style Zoid. I don't know spears well enough. I have no idea what spear skill you would use as a melee build. Because, like, a lot of the spear builds that are, like, that one-shot bosses are, like, lightning spear and stuff. So I have no idea. That's why I was doing Wind Dancer with maces, is because maces had access to Sunder. And Sunder could one-shot bosses, you know? So I think that's just an unfortunate downside of you opting to play the spear version.
I will take out.
But I don't know, you know, you might need to just look into a lot of the spear skills. The spear skills in general don't, like, appeal to me. Maybe there's one of them that does a lot of damage. You might have to do some weapon swap stuff, like where you have a two-handed mace in your offhand. I don't know.
Forsaken frosts, as cold as death, of Bayer's misery, the pack won't forget. I smell your blood, and I am ravenous.
Every strike.
Alright, we almost have the Thorns helmet. Almost have the Thorns helmet. That's when Thorns gets really fun. Are you going to league start Thorns in 0.3? Probably. Either Thorns or Wind Dancer. I will 100% be league starting some form of Reflect build. Unless Thorns doesn't get any of the buffs that I requested in my video. And Wind Dancer gets nerfed into the ground. Like, if those two things happen, I'm not league starting either. But I imagine I'm league starting one of them.
We can.
I think.
To get
Stay safe if you can.
I hope I'm league starting one of them. What's my next set of Thorns gear? 16, right? Yep. Got 2 16 belts. I like this one more. Ooh. Yeah, we'll keep that one. 16 chest. 16 shield. Okay.
The villagers. Betrayal. The Countess has escaped with the beast.
Do I think of having? Do you think evasion bases having Thorns and pull is dog shit? Nope.
You must pursue her to the plains of Bastille.
Yeah, this specific thing right here converts all evasion rating to armor. So you just immediately say fuck you to any potential hybrid build that would want to use this. to super scale armor off of evasion rating. There are also other reasons why you could want evasion rating with Thorns. But
Well, sir, we have
it's not ideal in 98% of situations, but that's why they don't just say hard no to those things, because then you're just like, who knows, maybe not this league, maybe not next league, maybe not in 5 leagues, but somewhere down the line, there's a build that will work with evasion and Thorns, right? Isn't there like cast on dodge, you know? You know, maybe there's some fun cast on dodge stuff that works with Thorns down the road, you know, you never know. Or there's like an Ascendancy, you know, that like it doubles your evasion rating, right? And then you combine it with that, where it converts the evasion to armor. So suddenly that Ascendancy is just like a super juiced armor Ascendancy for Thorns. Like, they're, you know. It ain't ideal, but I can think of a bunch of ways that I would use it. That I could use it, rather. And then you never know if GGG has a unique in their pocket that's like, your Caltrops damage is increased by, you know, X amount of your Thorns and evasion rating, you know. There's a lot of weird shit that can happen that can enable these things. So suddenly you're using Caltrops, but that Thorns damage is utilized via it, you know. Exactly, Reeksy. Or a unique that makes you Thorns an enemy when you dodge. Exactly. Like, there's so many different ways that overnight, like, evasion is suddenly a good Thorns build. And not even just a good Thorns build, but, like, weirdly becomes the best Thorns build, you know? This is one of the few games where it's hard for me to ever say never to something, right? Because, like, there's just so, like, as... This is, like, just like a game developer's paradise. Like, there's so much silly shit you could make as a game developer in this game that's less, like... If someone's like, why is this here? This would never work. They're just like, well, let me find 10 ways to make it work to prove you wrong, right? Like, that's the way that GGG devs feel like they get to... I feel like they get to operate, where it's just like... Oh, someone thinks this isn't viable? Alright, let's make it viable then. You know, like, stuff like that. I'm not saying that's how they work with everything, but...
They're nomads, much like my ancestors.
Time is short. Make haste.
Yeah.
I am a Sala.
I have already... Is it funny that I've already made my own personal Thorns item? I already have a Dream Thorns item.
We the trail. Fight to the last.
My Dream Thorns item. It's got a silly name, but it's called KallTorak. So it's like a play on my name, obviously. But a cowl, like, you know, a cowl you put over your head. It'd be either a helmet or a cloak. So a body armor. And it would make your lightning Thorns damage chain to nearby enemies. That is the unique I came up with the other day when I was like, if I was to ever make a Thorns unique, what would I do? I would call it KallTorak, and it would make... My biggest problem with Thorns is Thorns has pitiful AoE. And so I would just make it to where Lightning Thorns would chain. So you wouldn't make it to where all Thorns chains. That would just be like, maybe that's too broken. Maybe it's not broken. Maybe it's like, maybe all Thorns chaining is fine. But to me, it just made sense if it was only the Lightning Thorns. But my biggest problem right now is finding ways to enable Thorns Cleave. I feel like there's a way to make most things work in the game, Rixie, you know? Especially over time. Once we get more uniques, man. Like, imagine a world where we have, like, 500 to 1,000 more uniques. We're headed there. And then you're gonna have the tools to do literally whatever you want. Not to mention more skills, more weapons, more support gems, like, ugh. I can't wait. The future's gonna be nuts with this game. Hey, what's funny is I'm still finding uniques. Like, I've got 2,000 hours, Rixie. I'm still finding new uniques that I haven't even seen before. So, like, yeah, I still have that too, where, like, there are uniques that I know of that I still don't really understand what they do. And yeah, like, on my Arctic Armor build, I had a bunch of people ask me why wasn't I using this ring that converts elemental damage to chaos damage. And the reason why was because I didn't know about that ring. You know, that's the simple answer. I don't know if I would be able to work it in, ultimately. But one of the main reasons why I wasn't using it was because I didn't know about it. You know? There's a lot of items that I'm just still not even aware of. Oh, that's a good one, Orc. KallTorak. All allies in your... Dude. I've been wanting a way for minion Thorns for a while. Alright. That might be the new pitch. That might be the new pitch. Allies in your presence. Because it also works, because I'm trying to spread Thorns love to the community. All of my allies getting the Thorns love. Oh, I forgot to put the helmet on. Hell yeah.
Flesh and bone. What is the difference?
Help me!
Face so
She's insane!
Insane.
Are we? You'll blind.
Do the fire attack. There we go. Whee! Oh, I didn't put on my level 16 Thorns gear either. I'm slacking. What's my Thorns damage right now? 56 to 95. What do we go into? Oh, I lost the helmet. I was like, why did my Thorns damage spike down there? I need more int. What was it? I need more int. Okay. We can't put on that shield yet. I need to get more int. New chest in 5 levels. New gloves in 10 levels. No, I don't watch out. I'd rather put resonating shield on my bars too. I like that, Orc. I like that a lot. KallTorak. Allies in your presence get thorns. Alright, that is the official pitch for my own personal Thorns unique. It is called KallTorak. It is either a helmet or a body armor cloak, and it gives your allies in your presence 100% of your Thorns damage. That way we finally enable minion Thorns builds, and it plays off the theme of allies, where I am spreading the Thorns love to all of my allies, which is you guys, and yeah. I like that, Orc. I like that. I am very curious as to what they'll do with Righteous Fire. Hey, what's up, Galaxy? Yep, leveling Thorns. Leveling my 15th Thorns build at this point. Who knows what the count is? Way too many. Alright, 72 to 118 Thorns damage. No, not enough dex. Okay. Yeah, I've done like a million Thorns versions at this point in Galaxy. I've got like all different flavors of them. And yeah, that's the problem with all of them, is just trying to solve the one-shots. Any build right now that you have to take damage to deal damage, I don't think there is a way to ultimately solve one-shots. Like, no matter what. There's just too much random bullshit that just does weird damage. I don't think it's a Thorns problem. I think it's a balance problem right now with the minions. But yes, I agree that if you're someone who just can't go over the fact that you're gonna die every once in a while, Thorns or any of my Reflect builds definitely aren't for you. Where's Demolisher? I should have a Demolisher. I have a +3. I don't know if I have any more +3s. I have no more +3s. Making sure I don't have any physical mastery. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you can't even put Demolisher and Resonating Shield. Okay. Mag. Okay. Too many magnified effects, apparently. Mobility. And then breaking. Okay. Yeah, I have like a 28-minute video on my YouTube channel that's like a Thorns feedback video, and the first 9 minutes of it are talking about Crown of the Pale King and how I think this effect should be made into a spirit gem or added to Scavenge Plating. Because, like, the fact that you're required to... Like, I understand some builds require uniques, and there are obviously these build-defining uniques, but the way this one is executed is not good. If it was a late-game helmet with better stats, maybe, but then you wouldn't be able to level with it, so that would suck. But yeah, my first 9 minutes of this video, was talking about this helmet and how it needs to be redesigned. My proposal was you make the effect a spirit gem, and then you turn this helmet into being able to, you get the skill Thorns, to where you can put support gems into it. Because one of the biggest problems I have with Thorns, as well as like the not being able to survive one-shots and the helmet, is that there's no way to put support gems into your Thorns damage. You can't give them super critical or something like that. You can't give them concentrated effect. So my idea is you take this effect, you make it into a spirit gem. So then what do you do with the helmet? You make the helmet to where you can now put support gems into the Thorn skill, which is called Retaliate or something, right? But yeah. I have a whole video about Thorns. I've put like 800 hours into Reflect builds, so I have lots of thoughts on them. Too many thoughts, probably. Did I release her? Sometimes I don't release her. So whenever I think about the first, like, whenever you think about, like, okay, how should Druid work? They already have the fundamental code in for Druid in this game. We already see the code for Druid in this game. It's in demon form from Infernalist. However demon form works, we can assume across the board, not across the board, that Druid shapeshifts are going to work very much the same. So we can imagine that they won't gain access to their weapon stats, but they'll get like +6 to gem skill level while you're in that form for melee skills or something, right? Or they'll get a % physical damage reduction or something in bear form, right? Like, so just look at how demon form works. Demon form takes away your weapon, but you get multiple buffs. You get the scaling damage over time from Demon Flame. You get the +6 spell levels to your spell gems. Like, you get a lot than just inside a demon form, right? You get the dodge roll that's like a much further dash. That is how all of the Druid forms are going to work in my mind. Like, just, if you were to take an educated guess, just apply the demon form logic to Druid forms, and yeah, you can predict a bunch of stuff like that. Physical, like a damage reduction, stuff like that, you know. I imagine it'll be very close to that. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but if I were to make an educated guess, I would just say predict it would work like demon form works to an extent. You shapeshift into it, you get a bunch of buffs, but you lose access to your weapons. So you would never actually have weapon stats when you're in your bear form, like you do with demon form.
Why have we stopped?
Just a guess. There is already a Thorns Ring berry, but it's bad. It's right here. Prized Pain. Deal your Thorns damage to enemies you stun with melee attacks. Oh, right. I forgot I had the +3 scavenge plating. I can just slap that in already. So right now they don't have multiple tiers of uniques for like a lot of them. Some of them do have multiple tiers of them. Like some of the weapons will, but most uniques do not have multiple tiers. And obviously having a tier scaling of Crown of the Pale King would be super nice, because the worst problem with Crown of the Pale King is you're using this shitty level 61 helmet in Endgame. You know? Yeah, it doesn't specify if it's heavy stun, light stuns, you know. I saw a Ritualist video of a Ritualist using 3 of them with a bunch of stun buildup, and it was doing nothing. I have not, like, actually tried stacking them with myself with my Ritualist, but when I saw a video of a Ritualist with 3 of them, it was not impressive. It just seemed like a bait ring. And because Thorns is so unique heavy, like we've been talking about, like, you're having to solve defensives through 1,000 different ways. you know, you having to work Crown of the Pale King, having to give up one of your rings, which rings are usually pretty big defensive slots. You get a lot of maximum life, you get a lot of stats, you get a lot of resistances. You're giving up a full ring slot for that crap? Nah. I don't have translate on, Jera Bonadoli. Here, I'll enter it into translate myself. Greetings from Spain. Love your YouTube videos. Greetings back to you, my friend. Greetings back to you. Shout out to Spain. None of you other countries get a shout out. Only Spain. I'm glad you like the videos, bro. I like it. It makes... I really like the concept of it. It confused me at first, but after... Like, I played a demon form a lot in 0-1. I haven't revisited it in 0-2 yet. Maybe that's what my next build needs to be, is a demon form build. Do I go for Avatar of Fire first? Nah, we'll get this Thorns stuff first, and then we'll go for Avatar of Fire. What boots are you using? They're the Thorns crit boots. They give you Thorns damage and then Thorns crit. Flat crit. Another, you know, problem with Thorns is, again, why it's so unique heavy is... I have tried playing without the Thorns crit boots, and they feel, yeah. It's just... It's not as good. Yeah, in 0-1, I did a Spark Demon form, and... I did Arctic Armor Demon form. They both were really fun. I was able to get uncapped to like 600 plus Demon Flame without doing that Xeris cheese. There was a way you could bug the Demon Flame with its Xeris. But yeah, Demon Flame was a lot of fun. It got deleted for a reason. Yeah, like, even... And it sucks because there's another pair of Thorns boots that aren't crit versions, and they drop off of King of the Mist, which is Pinnacle content, right? And these boots are better than those boots, so even the Pinnacle Thorns boots are worse than these. But yeah, I have a video coming out maybe tomorrow where I'm talking about crit. It's not about Thorns, it's just a video about crit. I think crit is in a really interesting spot right now in Path of Exile 2 for a lot of reasons. The conversation got kind of interrupted earlier, but almost all of my builds, and I'm not going to call all of the versions of my Thorns builds like different builds, right? They're all one build. But like all of the different builds I've played, almost all of them go crit. It is really only builds where I find myself isolated to this section of the tree that I don't find myself going crit. Any other build that can access this side of the tree, this side of the tree, or this side of the tree will more than likely benefit from a crit build. Just because there is just absolutely so much good crit passives on the tree. It's not just about bad crit passives, it's about good crit passives. Then you add on the fact that a lot of the ailment builds right now, if you're wanting to do Ignite or Poison, how do you do a really hard-hitting Ignite, Poison, or Bleed? You hit as hard as humanly possible. So if I'm going an ailment build, right? Let's say I wanted to play Bleed, Poison, or Ignite. Doesn't matter which one. I am more than likely going to be working crit into that build because the harder you hit, the harder your ailment. So now this puts ailment builds into a weird pigeonhole where if you're not doing a crit version of that ailment build, which now that you're forcing an ailment plus crit, that's just harder to do because you're working in 2 stats instead of 1. That just makes that build harder to make work, right? So crit on its own is just good. And then ailments on their own, in general, aren't good unless they're being supported by crit. And then you add on the fact that a lot of the best uniques in the game, such as Tangle Tongue, are crit uniques that are being amplified by all the good crit in this game already. And we have this situation where it feels like there's not a lot of viable stuff. And I don't know if it's because, the summary of the video is, I don't know if it's because crit is too overpowered. I do want to specifically talk about this section right here and this section right here. If you can access Heartbreaking, Heart-Stopping, For the Jugular, and Deadly Force, these two areas combined just make any crit build, like, viable. It doesn't matter what skill you want to use. If you have access to these two nodes right here, your crit build's viable. And then you might as well just scoop Critical Chance and Throat Seeker, because they're both right here. And then if you're doing a caster-based crit version, you have all of the crit talents here, all of the crit talents here, all of the crit talents here, all of the crit talents here. There's probably a few crit talents I'm missing. So, yeah. So, like, looking at the tree, this is me searching crit. Now, this is bleed stuff, but look how much of this stuff is crit-based. Now, let's look up bleed. Like, the difference is insane. So when you look at this and you're building a bleed build, you think, okay, I'm going to get this node here, and then I'm just going to invest the rest into crit. Because that is how I'm going to scale my bleed best. You know? And if you're playing on this side of the tree, you don't get to play bleed builds. Right? Let's do Ignite. You got some good Ignite stuff down here in the warrior section. You got some good Ignite stuff over here. But over here, you don't get to play Ignite builds. You know? So, that's the gist of the video. If you just listen, this is the TLDR of that video. You know, it's, I don't know if crit is overtuned. I do think that some uniques, like Tangle Tongue specifically, is absolutely insane. But this specific section over here, and this specific section over here, makes it to where you feel forced to play crit, in my opinion, if you're on this side of the tree. You know, it just feels forced, in my opinion. But then, of course, you add on, like, Tangle Tongue and stuff, and it's like, oh, yeah, I can't play anything but Thorns build. Or I can't play anything but crit builds with spears. Like, go look through spear builds. They're almost all of them are using Tangle Tongue. Whether they're, like whether they should or not, you know? It's why I've avoided most spear builds, is because it's just, like, Tangle Tongue. It is definitely, so I will say, I definitely think it's definitely overtuned Zoid BR, but when you look at the state of the league right now and how many builds are playing crit, it seems insanely overtuned. But I think it's just overtuned, and everything else is undertuned. I don't think it's just that, like, we have to bring crit down. I think it's more that we have to bring everything else up a lot more than we're bringing crit down. It's like, nerf crit 33% and bring everything else up 66%. Like, that kind of type thing, you know? Obviously, those numbers are bullshit, but you get what I'm saying when I make that comparison. Yep, just go look at BOE Ninja. Yep, exactly. That's what prompted this discussion, was like, I was looking for new builds, and I'm like looking through PoE Ninja, and it's just like every build is a crit build. All spear builds use Tangle Tongue and play crit. Ooh. I'm not even breaking armor for my scavenge plating. Keep forgetting to do that.
Just try it.
Oh wow. I don't break armor worth shit. There we go. 391 Thorns damage when I break armor. That definitely does help.
A coin. What is this?
A coin. Yeah, I saw that interview, Galaxy. That's what I'm excited for. I keep trying to temper my community's expectations for 0-3 because a lot of people are expecting like an insane amount of new content, and I bet there's going to be lots of new content, but I want them to be more prepared for them to just do a bunch of rebalancing. Because I think that's mainly what we're getting, is just like a lot of the bottom ascendancies are getting touched up. Like, I imagine Tactician is getting a complete rework. I don't think we're getting daggers. I don't think we're getting daggers. I think...
Advance with me.
I mean, Shadow could come. I don't think it's Shadow. I don't think it's Druid either. But I'm just saying mainly no to Druid just because I know so many people want Druid that I just find it funny if Druid doesn't show up again. But I imagine... For some reason, I'm thinking, like, Gladiator or something. Maybe Marauder. Like, I see Axes coming. If Shadow comes, that's awesome. I don't know why I don't think Shadow is next. I'm thinking Marauder with Axes. But... What is Shadow? It's a rogue. It's the rogue class in Path of Exile that people would assume daggers are going to come with. Because a lot of classes come with a weapon base, you know? So, people make the guesses as what's going to be what, based off of, like, old footage and stuff, like... swords are coming with gladiators or whatever. Or duelists, excuse me. Shadow is daggers. I'm guessing Druid is coming with fist weapons. Marauders is going to be axes. Templar is flails. Those are the, you know, predictions and stuff people are making. Or, you know, based off of old video footage. Because there is old video footage of, like, the 16 classes from an old trailer or something. There is no class I'm super interested in, except for swords. Like, I just want swords. But as for the classes themselves, I've never been a class kind of guy, you know. For ARPGs. The class has never been what called to me. It's like the playstyle. And you can make any playstyle work with any class in my mind, so... I've never really, like... I have a calling to melee characters, so you'll see me play warriors a lot more often than not, because warriors lead toward melee builds, but... yeah.
Just try it.
Is this possible?
Okay, we're definitely gonna set up a weapon swap for Demolisher.
I shall dethrone you, Sekama, and leave you. I shall dethrone you, Sekama, and leave you to the sands.
Say it again.
I tried to seek peace, and the Sekamas disgraced me. Rot in the sand. This time, we choose war.
The armor explosion only works because of the plague. You have to do the poison.
He must not escape.
He has the beast. I must stop him.
Quickly. He conjures the very sands again.
Like, the explosions are happening because of the poison, so you can't get rid of any of that.
This is no natural
Like, if you're wearing, I mean, you can get rid of Plague Burst, yeah.
with sorcery.
But,
Let us return to the caravan and enjoy Thorns' wisdom.
you can remove Plague Burst, but you're not going to have a good time. In my experience. Thank you, Alkalite of Blazula. Or are you Blaze? I think that's Blaze. That is Blaze. The purple scepter? What's the purple scepter? When's my next 28? So we're level 20 right now. Okay. How much block do I have? 25%? I bet we can handle our Ascendancy right now.
Move swiftly.
Oh, shit. Where is she? Did I not talk to her? Oh, I did. Oh, my God, I didn't talk to her. I could have sworn I talked to her. What I did. Oh, I have to talk to this lady down here. Never mind. Yeah. There we go. Oh, Palm of the Dreamer? I have not used that myself yet. That does sound cool, though. If you're using Palm of the Dreamer, I imagine you don't need any of that, though, right? They probably just explode off of the Thorns damage alone. Okay, let's try Trial. I mean, yeah, half a Tactician is good, Dragon, but the other half of it is booty butt cheeks. Well, there's a lot of nodes that are already in game, Dragon, that aren't just swords. We got dagger nodes up here. We have fist weapons. Oh, wait, no, what are these? I swear we had fist. Was it called claws? I swear I saw fist some point. Maybe I didn't see claws. But there's daggers at least. We already got dagger passes. Which, of course, are crit and attack speed. I think I saw traps. I swear I saw traps. Yeah, here's traps. They have traps. So there could be a lot that's on the horizon based off of the fact that passives are already here, you know?
I will show them how a true warrior fights.
Someone told me, I don't know if this is true, but someone told me that GGG said in an interview that they plan on releasing 1.0 without all classes out. Like, 1.0 doesn't mean every class is in the game. So, I don't know what 1.0 means for them. Maybe that just means all 6 acts. But 1.0 doesn't mean all classes with all 3 ascendancies functioning. We don't need no stinking relics. Think claws and dagger will be lumped together? It's possible. What is coming with druid, though, if druid is not getting claws? That's why my assumption was druid was getting claws. Because, 1, that kind of fits with druids. And 2... what else would they get? Yeah, I just don't see them getting nothing unless their entire ascendancy was revolved around the shapeshifting. And I don't know. I mean, it could be the case. It could be the case. If that is what's happening, then I don't see Druid releasing alone. It'll be Druid plus Shadow because, like, there's no way they would release Druid without a weapon. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong there. But I would be very sad if it was Druid and no weapon. I need a new weapon. And for some reason, my brain's attached to the idea that they'll be releasing weapons alongside the class that the weapon's attached with, because the weapon's attached to the skill gems to the class, yada yada. Who knows, though? It's all speculation. GGG can literally do whatever the hell they want, so. The pin part's good. The reduced spirit cost is insanely good. People underestimate that part of Tactician. The reduced spirit reservation is insanely good. And if they fix the bugs... iLeague started Tactician for a reason. It had serious potential. It just flopped. Ooh, that hurt.
Just try it.
A great challenge overcome.
But yeah, I do 100% believe that the druid shapeshifts would work like demon form. I just, for some reason, I feel like there will be an entire, like... My prediction is... of the 3 ascendancies, only one of them is going to be aimed at shapeshifting. I could be very wrong there, and maybe shapeshift is core to druid, but I feel like 2 of the ascendancies are going to be like an elemental one or something, and then like a nature critter summoning one or something, like, and then you have the shapeshift one, the feral one. I could be wrong. Like, it could be a situation where, like, there's the bear form ascendancy, the cheetah form ascendancy, and then the rhino ascendancy or whatever, right? Like, maybe each of the ascendancies is its own entire shapeshift, but for some reason, I picture a world where you have, like, the hurricane summoning ascendancy, then you have, like, the nature-loving ascendancy, and then you have the feral ascendancy. That's how I pictured it. Who knows, though? There's King's March in PoE too? Is that the new city that got it added or whatever in the last 3.25? I did not do any of that when I played recently, so I don't know what it's like at all. Why do I keep getting these lightning strikes of these fuckers? It's like the one I can't stand still on and take a hit. Cool. Yeah, so, yeah, I have no idea how Druid will play, you know. It's pure speculation on my end. Oh, there's a rare monster left alive someplace? Okay. Yeah, I don't see shapeshifts being just like a skill gem. It's definitely going to be an ascendancy. It's just like, how many of their ascendancies is it? Like, is every ascendancy going to have access to a different form? Like, if you're playing the nature one, do you have access to a different form than, you know, the feral form? Like, or is it all under one ascendancy? It can be done so many different ways. I seriously doubt shapeshifts are a skill gem, though. It'll work very much like demon form does. Like, I'm almost positive. I mean, I obviously want a porcupine. Like, what is the dinosaur with the spikes on it? I need that shapeshift for a Thorns build. Do you know how to make Spear of Solaris do damage? I don't even know what Spear of Solaris is, my friend. Remind me what it does, and maybe I'll remember the unique, but off the top of my head, I don't recognize. I mean, I've heard the name, I don't remember what it does at all. Oh, that skill. Yeah, I haven't messed with that yet. What's up, Sir Cancer Lot? What's up, Timeless DPZ? How you guys doing? Well, I don't care about Affliction being an anonymous trial, so yeah. I have not tried that skill myself. Most of the spear skills, like, I don't know, like, I went in with, like, the expectation of Javazon, and I didn't get Javazon. And, I don't know, just a lot of the spear skills just, like, didn't hit home for me. So, I don't know, I haven't played with very many of the spear skills. Rake and Rapid Assault are the only two I've played much with. The problem I have with those big wind-up skills is, like, they usually require, like, a different skill to be able to map with them. And I'm always, like, a guy that wants to use one skill for as much content as humanly possible. I hate doing, like, this is my mapping skill, and then I use this skill to one-shot bosses. I've done that in a few of my builds, like my Thorns, or my Winddancer Sunder build, but... yeah, I just, like, I don't know. When I look at skills like that, I feel like you can't map with that easily. So you would just boss with it. So you gotta find a build that it slots perfectly into where it's a mapping and a bossing build. Another hourglass. Like I said, I know it's Fire Thorns. I wanted to go Smith of Katava initially, but I am going to go Warbringer. I think Warbringer just makes the most sense based off of how it's going to look in Endgame. And if Smith ends up needing to be the case, we'll swap the Smith later, but... I'll hop in there. No, we're not killing him in 8 seconds. We'll just preserve our honor for the final boss. I think GGG is definitely keeping weapon swap. If someone can correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of you guys are PoE 1 players who know, like, the history a lot better. I believe one of the main reasons why, like, PoE 2 became what it became is because they were wanting to add weapon swapping to PoE 1. There were a few things that were, like, they were wanting to add as an expansion pack to PoE 1 to, like, give it, like, quality of life features and new mechanics and stuff. One of those things was weapon swapping. Alongside, like, WASD and stuff. So I find it likely that they'll remove weapon swapping from the game that got burst because they wanted weapon swapping. I feel like it'll be here for a while. I need more decks. I keep forgetting I need more decks for that.
I will overcome this challenge.
Stand clear.
Just quiet.
This isn't even a good spear, and this is, like, pretty easy. I'm, like, barely losing any honor. So anytime anyone says that, like, you can't do Sekimus as Thorns, it's like, no teethings. My spear is not a high DPS spear. I'm not strength stacking, so, like, I'm barely barely utilizing the full potential of Rake Stomping Ground. This shows you that active block can handle most of the thing. Also, and then you just restore honor when you can. I didn't transfer over any of my good honor relics.
This is proof of my strength.
Active block is very useful.
Let's plan.
Alright, this is my 6th warrior I've ascended on this league. My 2nd Warbringer.
Strength.
We're going with Anvil, just so we can enable the Fire Thorns, because after this we're going to path towards Avatar of Fire, and we'll need that for breaking armor.
Is all.
We will succeed.
Does Thorns proc on block? Yep. Yep, it does. All that matters is you get hit. It doesn't matter if you block it. As long as you got hit, you deal the reflect damage. I like weapon swapping in general. There is always an unavoidable amount of cringe gameplay that's going to exist with it, where you're going to see these setups that's like, weapon swap to drop shocking ground, warp this, blah, 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 get your amp damage, and then you swap back to one-shots. Like, that's always going to be an inevitability of it, but for most of the cases, it's going to be fine. Hey, just hit 2,600 followers on Twitch. Thanks, guys, for all the new followers.
Perhaps it is beneath the sands.
Pretty cool how fast the Twitch has grown. I don't really even stream that much. It's easier to grow to YouTube because, you know, I make videos all the time, right? You don't have to be online and live to grow your YouTube. So, like, anytime I stream on YouTube, I could go, like, a month without streaming on YouTube, and, right, like, if I just went live on YouTube, I would still get viewers, right? Because you're obviously growing that audience. But Twitch is obviously very different. But I multi-stream on both, so. Yeah, the speed can be annoying at times. Yeah, there's just some clunkiness to it. I don't know. I don't mind weapon swapping. I honestly like it. Yeah, I honestly like it. I don't have a problem with weapon swapping, personally. And see, now that we have perma-savage plating stacks, like, you can see how much, like, immediately after that, like, my damage was only okay. until now, but now that we're at perma-scavenge plating because of Warbringer, like, this is why I say anytime you play Thorns for the first time, you just play Warbringer. It'll give you, it'll dip your toes in, and you'll have a nice experience, and it's only because of Anvil Aid. You don't have to worry about breaking armor ever because of Anvil Aid. And you can play any flavor of Thorns you want. Like, my Thorns damage just doubled with, like, no effort. It's just extra boss damage, Zoid. A little bit of extra mapping damage, and it's a little bit of extra bossing damage. Herald of Blood probably not really needed. You could swap that out for anything. Yeah, but the boss loss with the blood loss on the bossing with that one skill. I don't remember the name of it right now. I have a skill gem on me. Like when you the consuming of the blood loss is just blood hunt. Because Herald of Blood is making the blood loss on bosses happen. And then they die whenever their blood loss meter hits the bottom. So that's really what you're just using it for. On bossing. It's either that or Time of Need, and, like, Time of Need is, like, I don't know. A lot of those defensives, spirit gems, like Time of Need and, like, Overwhelming Presence, like, you can slot those in, but they don't feel very impactful. I'm sure they are very impactful, and there's something that you, like, you don't notice their impact, but they are very impactful. So you might want to run, like, Time of Need instead, or whatever, but or Overwhelming Presence, but it doesn't really matter with that. Attrition, no, attrition's great for bossing. On a lot of my builds, I think on that Wind Dancer build I do attrition weapon swaps. But attrition for bossing is great. I do that in a lot of my builds.
How could the Marraketh abandon something?
Like, you don't need Wind Dancer on bossing, right? You're not... You have Wind Dancer for the mapping, right? The point of Wind Dancer is it procs when you're mapping, and it does a poison spread that clears the map. That doesn't benefit you on bossing at all, right? So, like, you don't even need Wind Dancer on bossing. So, for, like, if I'm doing Pinnacle content, I'll sometimes completely change my Spirit Gems. Like, Wind Dancer plus, like... those setups, that's not really helping you on Plush Force Jet, right? So, yeah, I do that a lot on a lot of my builds. There are very many builds that I do attrition as a, like, boss swap, specifically. If I have the Spirit Gems that I can swap out. Yeah. Turn off Herald of Plague, Herald of Blood, and then swap on attrition. Turn off, like, what, you know, any of the combinations, right? Like, it all works great, in my opinion. I don't do it. You don't see me do it sometimes when I'm playing because I'm, like, lazy or I forget. Like, I'm very forgetful. So, like, the main reason you don't ever see me put in those guides is I know I have a lot of viewers that think the same way as me. They'll be like, well, I don't like doing weapon swap setups because I'll forget to swap the weapon back when I go back to mapping. Or stuff like that, right? I'm the same way. Like, there will be moments where, like, I'll turn off Herald the Plague and turn on attrition, and then I go back to mapping, and I'll be, like, 5 minutes into mapping, and, like, I've died twice, and I'm like, why am I dying? You know. So that's generally why I avoid weapon swap stuff. It's because I'm a forgetful dork. Or spirit gem swaps, but yeah. Attrition swaps are great. But yeah, when I have Scavenge Plating stacks, the Thorns damage is enough to just kill the mobs on their own. It's really nice.
Is that a beetle? Impressive workmanship. Shame I had to destroy it.
I know it's likely that I'm going to be, like, let's say Druid is next. More than likely, one of the new Ascendancies, I am League starting as a Thorns build. But if they're all ass for Thorns, I could see myself League starting as a Warbringer, and then eventually swapping to a Titan. But Warbringer is just such a good start that, like,
Up for another hunt, are you? Ready? Listen.
it's just so clean.
We're losing it. Weakling.
Did they really need all this to prove their faith?
I guess. Religion be crazy like that. Oh, yeah. There is a bug that when he's doing one of his attacks, he does, like, I think it's the one where he slams the ground and he pulls it back towards him like this. If you get hit by the part where you're like say this is your character, right? And he slams and then he does the drag back. If you get hit by the drag back portion of it, it bugs his hitbox to where you can't hit him again until he moves. So you just essentially have to never get hit by that skill. And if you get hit by it, you either have to wait for him to move, or you have to restart the fight. Unfortunately. I've had that happen to me a few times. Until one of my viewers told me what was causing it.
He holds a new loyal. My king nears.
Yeah, something about that attack dislodges his hitbox to where he's not actually standing where he is. He's like further back or something.
He didn't want me.
Nobody would.
I shall grant you mercy.
Thank you.
Sometimes Orc it be that way. Sometimes.
It was a god.
Yeah, but like I do. Oh, I don't have Cloak of Flame on? I need more int. I forgot I hit level 22. So this instantly goes to show, like, if they make the Quill Burst and Barbs accessible, we can level as Thorns without the tithings. I have no tithings, and this is going great. One more, I think. Alright, Cloak of Flame. Now, Cloak of Flame eventually gets outscaled on Thorns damage. As you can see, a level 38 chest has 48 to 70 Thorns damage. This only has 25 to 35. You really only use this if you need it as a defensive option late game. But generally speaking, you don't need Cloak of Flame. It's really just for defensives. I just happen to also have one that has an enchant with 40% increased Thorns damage. But it's not that important at all, to be honest. At all. You don't need Cloak of Flame. And then the next items are 28. We'll skip this 28 chest, but we will use the 28 belt and shield. But we will use probably the 38 chest over this.
How can I back to the forge with this one?
Let's try the fire forms out from here. Let's just see how it goes.
Quickly.
I have a different plan.
Okay, so all the ignite stuff in this area. We got this stuff down here. 30% chance to increase ignite. More damage against burning enemies. Damage penetration, fire resistance. So I think we would change pathing to come down this way so we can get that. Unless we path through here and we would snag. So we ultimately are probably changing our passive tree to path through here so it's easier to get that. But we path through here so we can level with the leech. We would change that to path down here. I don't think we'd take this first. What's this one again? Increased chance to ignite. Damage with hits against ignite enemies. Well, I think we want more ignite chance. This is what? How much ignite chance? 40% here, 30% here. So yeah, we want both. Go ahead and just refund.
Changed my mind.
I'm gonna be annoyed if I don't do it now. .43 decks. Perfect. Okay, we'll just try this out, see how this feels initially with level. We are using Crackle Creep, so our ignite will spread. I don't know how much igniting we will be doing right now. Probably not much. But we're mainly, this is not better than my normal styles of leveling. This is just a science type situation. Go ahead and get Infernal Cry on the bars too. I'll put stuff in it later. Nope. You weren't supposed to come back here. And I'm curious to see how often Thorns is going to be igniting just off of, like, a ranged person hitting me, and then will that ignite spread and do good clears? Like, that's my science I'm seeing here, is how good the Thorns ignite is at clearing while leveling. Let me get my Scythas out, just so I don't forget it. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to have value even immediately. Like, at all. Because we're not bleeding right now.
Welcome.
It's a glorious-looking warrior. He looks pretty with his squirt. Make sure I have enough gold. I have enough stuff in my stash that I could make another few million gold on the spot if I needed to. I have so many maps I can vendor right now.
Does anyone live in this forsaken wasteland?
Okay, so we are getting confirmed that we are breaking armor with the fire damage with via the Thorns damage still, despite it being fire, which is good. Let's see if I can get a ignite spread. Some form of ignite spread going. I need ignite to end up on one of the ranged guys, so it spreads. I want to see the spread. I don't have high enough ignite chance, maybe. He died before it spread to anybody. Okay, here's an ignite. Can we get it to spread? Why you no spread? Why it no spread? That looked like it was definitely within 1.5 meters. I just need one of you big guys to get hit with an ignite that you spread. Prove to me that you work. They die. I'm doing too much Thorns damage. Oh, ignited. Spread. Why is the ignite not spreading? It's definitely proccing ignite. I've seen ignites going out. It's definitely a super low chance. I don't have much invested into it right now because we can't put like a chance into it that doesn't help. Like I'm seeing some ignites go out. It's just not spreading the ignite. So maybe this is what my current thought is. Ignites you inflict spread to other enemies that stay within 1.5 meters. Maybe it's not being tested properly right now because the mobs are dying too fast, but it says ignites you inflict. I am igniting, but maybe my Thorns is doing the igniting, so it's not counting it as me igniting, so it's not getting that me effect of this. That's why it's not spreading. It looked like they were within 1.5 C. It looked like they were within the meter distance for a full second, though. Like in a couple of those clips. Well, Thorns are just broken across the board. Zuptina, like, In some cases they are, in some cases they aren't. I see, look, this one. That was definitely for more than a second. And that was definitely within 1.5 meters. So I'm guessing that's just a bug. Crackle Creep and Thorns ain't working together. Because I know Crackle Creep works. I've used this in other builds. I've done Ignite Prolification multiple times this league already. This is just a bugged interaction between Crackle Creep and Thorns, I think. Which is a big L. That's a big L. Candlemaker gloves? Let me look them up. Chance to ignite is doubled. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if Crackle Creep doesn't work. That's the only way you can get Ignite Prolification off of Thorns. So we would not be able to AoE clear off of just fire damage. We would still have to work in, like, poison spread with this. Oh, I had exactly 5 exalts. That's funny. Only the brain damage play solo self-found. You are the weak one, my friend. If you want to play solo self-found, you're not playing the right game. I was responding to someone in YouTube chat, for those on Twitch. He said I was weak for playing trade. And I would play solo self-found if this game solo self-found was good. But it's not right now. Unfortunately.
Heal yourself.
Well, the double ignite chance definitely helps. But we need to get the spread going now. The double igniting is going to help. We want to make it ignite more, so we're going to use these gloves at least while leveling. Minus 10 cold res is whatever, but... Does the armor break wind dancer thing still work? Yeah. But no, I have a solo self-found Smith of Katava. I just... I don't know. The solo self-found is Recombinator, and I don't like Recombinator. It is very unfun to me. Yeah, I just don't think it's working. I'm not testing very well. It's hard to tell when like half the mobs get one shot. I mean, it's hard to just test Thorns in general. Okay, here. I don't know, that should have spread for sure, right? Yeah, I don't know, those should have spread for sure. Versus this one will probably spread because it was done. Yep, see, that one spread. You see how that one spread? That was because that one was an ignite from my spear. That wasn't an ignite from the Thorns. But when it's coming from Thorns, it's just... the Thorns interaction is not working with Cracklekeep for whatever reason. Oh well. That definitely hurts, like, the potential of the Thorns build. The Ignite Fire Thorns. Because we're still going to have to work in some form of, like, AoE clear with it. Just not sure what.
This land of the dead has no end.
I mean, I don't have very many passive points right now. I went straight for Avatar of Fire and Thorns Leech, so, you know. At some point, we're going to have more points into Ignite duration and damage, but... I just showed that it was spreading off of the Spear attack. It's just, it's specifically bugged with Thorns. Like, you see how it spread there almost immediately? Spread to those guys, too? That's because it happened off of the Spear attack. But when it happens off of Thorns auto procs, it's just not happening. There's a lot of bugs like that with Thorns. You run into this a lot. I mean, I might use Herald of Ash, but that really doesn't help clear. It doesn't, like... It doesn't help, like, with the Thorns AoE problem, you know? And Herald of Ash is kind of bleh. Even when it's in its best scenario. I probably will use Herald of Ash because it's cool, but... I mean, maybe that would be what works, but I don't know. We'll see. Right now, I need Scavenge Plating for the damage, so next Spirit Gem is in Act 3. When I kill Bog Lady. So we'll see if that solves the problem. Okay, so yeah, like if one of them gets ignited right here, the Thorns it would spread 100%, right? So like that would have spread there. That was not a spread. That was him hitting me and getting ignited. But yeah, which is fine. We might not need Crackle Keep, and in general, you don't want to use Crackle Keep. It's a bad ring. It's like a level 8 ring. You don't want to use that forever, right? Yeah, the whole overkill aspect of Herald of Ash is, like, whatever to me. Hey, what's up, Ethan? Just leveling Fire Thorns.
These tusks join the dead, you so defiled.
Yeah, I always hesitate to say GDG needs to change something, because you never know what they have internally for, like, maybe Herald of Ash works better with other weapons and other skill gems or other ascendancies, right? And they're like, well, if we nerf it now, people won't get to see this. So I always say hold off on, like, saying something needs to be completely changed, but unless they have something that they're holding back that pairs with it perfectly, it is a little bit out of place.
Feel my wrath.
But maybe just fire builds need to be better, and its scaling needs to be different. Who knows? Really, Ethan? That's cool. Yeah, that Arctic Armor build did surprisingly... I can never judge what builds are going to do well, Like, I thought my Shatter Thorns build was gonna do well, and it did okay, right? I thought the Arctic Armor build was like a meme throwaway build. I almost didn't even make a video for it, because I was like, oh, this is so stupid. No one's gonna like this. This is so dumb. And it's like one of my... If the season wasn't this dead, that build would have been one of my better performing videos of, like, all time. Like, the ratio of views it's getting right now compared to how dead the league is. Like, if I did that league build week 1, it would have done insanely well in comparison, right? Like, it's just very different. There we go. Yeah, fire in general is just not in the best place. Gloves are 27, 28, 28, 33. Okay. But yeah, that build did better than I expected, Ethan. I was pretty happy with it. I guess anytime something hits for more than 1 million, it's going to get eyes on it. What? Yeah, they just need to change, like, right now, I think the biggest issue with ailments is they, like, we talked about it earlier in the stream. I have a whole video coming out about the crit status in the game. But right now, since all of the ailments just scale off of big hits, right? How do you do as big a night as possible? You hit really hard. How do you do as big as poison as possible? You hit really hard. How do you do as big as bleed as possible? You hit really hard. How do you do as big a shock as possible? You get what I'm saying? And a lot of the ways you hit really hard is through crit. And I think they just need to change how some of the ailments scale. Because, like, right now, it's just super boring that, like, all of them are scaled through high damage. And then you have, like, GGG, like, nerfing them based off of that. Like, I'm sure Ignite is scaled back as much as it is. Because if it was scaled up higher, you'd have crit builds with Ignite just doing insane. So I just think they need to change how some of the ailments scale. Some of them should scale off of big hits, but some should just scale off of other factors. Make Ignite scale more off of the enemy's resistance, so it scales better off of penetration or something. I don't know. Or make it scale off of, like, its magnitude scales off of duration more. Like, something. It's different. It's a difficult solution to solve that they have. Syzygy on Thunder at Sleep? What's Syzygy do? I don't even know what Syzygy does. I don't even know if I'm saying that word right. I don't think I've used that gem yet. Syzygy. Permanently intimidate them. Oh. That seems pretty good. Cool. That's actually a pretty cool idea. Good idea, Blueberry.
Ready? Let's do this.
There might have been a couple builds that could have worked that in by now. But obviously that works perfectly with Fire Thorns for the obvious reason. You're breaking armor because of Thorns, and you're doing fire damage because of Fire Thorns. You're igniting because of Fire Thorns, right? Slock, obviously that's just like the perfect pairing there. And since it's permanent, like you said, obviously it's normally an obnoxious support gem. But in this scenario, you do it at the start of the boss once, and yeah. Not bad. Good idea. Not a bad idea at all. Did I put the things in? I did, yeah.
The first ones cannot help me here.
I'll have to look into some of those Ignite stuff. That sounds cool. Yeah, I've heard people recommend Frozen Locust to me before. I have yet to try it. I did a Shattering Palm build with Thorns.
It's enormous.
And then people were telling me to add Frozen Locust to it, but I never got around to it. Yeah, get some. I wonder how much of this I can take. Oh, yeah. All of it, apparently. It's good to be back playing Thorns.
Time to make my escape.
Yeah, I had a bunch of people that were saying to try it out on a Chiyula monk specifically too. That's pretty funny that you're playing it on Chiyula too.
I will tell your tale.
It is.
slaves. This goes against everything the Edomites stand for.
I am.
How are you a part of this train this whole way? You didn't realize there were slaves, fool. $28 divines. I feel so rich. And then Rabbit doing a 10,000 divine giveaway. Insane. Give me a second real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Starting a podcast soon, and was just talking with the guys about it. We're doing a PoE2 podcast with probably Miso and Dead Rabbit. So if you guys like podcasts and you like Miso and Dead Rabbit, Miso Shiro, we'll be having a podcast soon about that. So. Okay, let's get to leveling. What I sent it to you? I am Warbringer. Yeah, I am Warbringer.
This is a graveyard unlike any other.
If I had a better budget, I would probably play Smith of Katava or Titan. But because I'm doing it on a cheaper budget, and because inflation is just so crazy right now, Warbringer just lets you play cheap because it lets you use budget shields. If you're not playing Warbringer, you need to have a shield. Like, let's say I'm playing Chernobog or any shield, right? You need at least, if you're not Warbringer, you need a shield with at least 40% block chance on it. Probably more, though. Probably want like 43 to 44. And that's expensive when you want good stat rolls on it too, like the Thorns damage. Or if you have a Chernobog with an enchanted 32% block chance, those are like over 100 divine. So, in order to get around the block requirements for having a really good shield, or just using a base Chernobog, you play Warbringer. And that lets you not have to worry about the block chance on your shield at all. You just purely focus on stats and Thorns damage. But you can play Thorns with whatever class you want. I've got 6 or 7 different, maybe even more, Thorns Ascendancy builds right now, so. Do I need to go this way? Guessing this way. Yeah. Unfortunately, Thorns just doesn't hit hard enough when leveling for have the Ignite to seem like it's doing a lot. Like, the Thorns Ignites just do nothing. I need way more damage for Fire Thorns to be better, I think. Hey, nice, man. That's like one of the Dream's Thorns items right there. High block chance Chernobogs. It's a good corrupt to get. Hope you sell it well, man. Yeah, until this patch, Chernobog was just like one of those chase uniques I could never afford. But in the last patch, they made it more common drop rate. So now Chernobog's, like a base Chernobog's only a few divine. So. Okay, we need to find the body, though. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier in the stream, Gluhan. It's like, if 0.3 is coming in August, are they really going to be dropping 0.22 with a balance update when that's only 6 weeks away tops? It's starting to feel unlikely that we are getting a balance patch, at least a sizable one, before 0.3. Unless it drops this very week. Do I think they'll nerf Diva's Tower to the ground? I don't think so. It might get nerfed. Low life builds might get nerfed, but I don't know into the ground. When I think of Deepest Tower, I don't necessarily think it's overpowered. I just think we lack options that are comparable to it, if that makes sense. Like, it's really good. You see a lot of people doing it right now. It's because there's not very many other good things to do. Where the hell is this body at? Not down here. Over here? Will I be making a full video guide for the Fire Thorns? Probably. It might end up being one of my Will It Thorns videos. I usually do guides with those, but it might not be like a, this is a really good Fire Thorns build. It would be like a, this is my experimental Fire Thorns build, and like, this is like, it's not very good, you know, with these problems. And usually in the Will It Thorns videos, I don't necessarily do full leveling guides. Just because the builds are not, like, worth leveling, but yeah. The Blood Mage Arctic Armor build's fun. That's a good build for sure. Where the hell's the body at? I didn't already get the note, did I? Nope. There it is. Found it eventually. Is Storm Mage's build good? No idea. I don't play minion builds very often. The ones that I have played are not Storm Mages. And I'm not, yeah, I'm not very well versed in the meta of that. But yeah, my guess would be, like, if at this point 0.22 is not, like, shippable, like it's coming out this week, why would they continue work on 0.22 instead of working on 0.30, right? Like, if 0.22 is not done, they are already working on 0.30. Herald of Plague Lich sounds great, man.
I pray I'm not too late.
Lich is great for chaos builds. Oh yeah, Ethan. Especially when I'm streaming and I'm looking at chat, I get lost all the damn time. Navigating the campaign is a pain in the ass sometimes, just with all the turning around you gotta do. Yeah, I imagine this build's AoE is going to suck, and if its single target's good, it's because we utilize not Ignite, but Leopolds to double Ignite Thorns damage with penetration. But I don't even know if that would work because we can't use... Yeah, I don't even know if that would fucking work. You can't put support gems into Thorns. We'll see what happens. It's my favorite campaign experience to me. Yeah, I don't know if Deepest Tower needs to be nerfed into the ground. Just nerf slightly, maybe? And other stuff needs to be better. But maybe Deepest Tower needs to be nerfed. What about Caltrops? Caltrops is okay. It's okay. Nice, we found the sisters super fast. It's always pain in the ass finding the sisters. Yeah, I mean, a Caltrops build's on my list in the coming days.
You are
Yeah, I love that laugh every time I hear it.
that. The time of the paladin is nigh.
Oh, as in using child chops for ignite prolif? It's an idea. I don't know how good of an idea it is. But it's not a bad one, to be honest.
Enough tricks. They won't get away this time.
It can work, but it's just like, it can work, but it will never work. Like, anytime these solutions, that's a good solution, but these solutions are making it, like, better, but it's also, like, a step down from my normal Thorns build. So, like, my brain sees that and goes, okay, that would work here. But it would not be as good as any of my other Thorns builds. Because you're losing all of the X amount of damage, because you're giving up the Spirit Gem, you're having to invest more into Spirit to work in the Spirit Gems, like, yada, yada, you get all that points, right? Like, I think it's a cool idea, though. It is something I want to test. It is something that I'm hyped to test. So I will give you that, Black Shepherd. That is a cool idea. How good it'll be, I don't know. It'll probably work to an extent, though. I just don't know. But it's worth trying. We're going to give it a swing, man. It probably wouldn't be good until late game. It would maybe only be good in Simulacrum, but fuck it. Who knows? We'll give it a shot. It'll at least make the build fun and unique.
My life has been a forge. I am ready for war.
We now fight to the last.
Yeah, because I've been thinking this entire time of ways, like, how am I going to make the clear work? Do I just have to accept that the clear is not going to be great here?
I will end this.
If a way is going to do it, that seems like not a clean way. Maybe that's the cleanest way, though. The idea of having to clear like this is stupid, but it might work.
You were no warrior.
Alright, level 28, I got a bunch of new Thorns stuff, right? Yeah, so I got the new Thorns gloves. Oh, that's my double Ignite chance. Whatever, the Ignite chance ain't doing shit right now. New Thorns shield. Oh, but I can't wear the glove. What was giving me int? Oh, that. How much int am I down? Exactly 5. Okay, I'll just put an int here. I'm at 798 Thorns damage now. Nice. Fire Thorns for the win. I had gotten so accustomed to using teethings that I was worried that how rough this experience was going to be leveling. And once you get out of Act 1, your Thorns damage is generally speaking high enough that it's fine. So even doing like this Gimp Fire Thorn style, like I'm still clearing insanely well. Like, my leech is almost instantly healing me to full every time. Like, my damage is very good now that I've got the armor break going. As you guys are about to see on Jamin Raw, he's going to get one-shot by his AoE bullshit. What's it called? Exploit? Weakness? Oh, it's a tier 2. Wait, what's the remove armor break? Was that it? Yeah, it's exploit weakness. Yeah, because I don't have a way to consume armor break.
You again. The fool under the hooded one's way. Do you even know what he is?
Equipped right now.
No matter. You'll find my king far more capable than Count Geonor. My king, take the power you were promised. Put an end to this nuisance.
The Sigma of Yaldura. Bow before your king.
The Americans will not bow to me. We submit to our finish.
The Americans will pay by our son.
Just try it!
What gems am I using in Rake? Martial Tempo, Stomping Ground, Quill Burst, Barbs.
Desert justice.
We're running out of time. End this.
My queen.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I don't have time for this. Stand. Stand to my will. Impede my enemy.
Do the one thing I can use my Quill Burst on. Thorns, Thorns, Thorns. I love Thorns. Does Jamin Ra love Thorns? Probably not.
Die, foolish Sigma. Asala. You have accomplished nothing.
Is there a list of links to your builds, bro? Let me give you my mobile Linux profile. That's got all my builds right there. And my YouTube channel has, like, all my videos on it as well, so.
This is not over. Not yet. Shamabra! I return you to the embrace of
All right.
it is done.
Yeah, I'll get you your frickin' thing. It's like Beetlejuice. You ask 3 times, and I'll sell it to you. As soon as I'm in the caravan. Interesting, he wants that. Okay. He wants 1 divine for that, huh? I guess people are just rich right now. Okay. All right, that's going to be it for the stream, guys. Nice little 3.5 hour stream. I gotta start taking care of dinner and stuff. I will probably be live tomorrow, streaming more of the Fire Thorns. We're going to be streaming this character until we're finished with them. And then, yeah, I don't know what character's next. Maybe a full Caltrops build, but, yeah. We'll see what ends up happening with this Fire Thorns character. A reminder that I am starting a podcast soon, so keep your eyes out for that. We'll be with Micho Shiro and Dead Rabbit. It's going to be a PoE 2 centric podcast where we're going to talk about everything about the game, whether it's the community, the balance, you know, lots of stuff. So, let's see here. Who is streaming that I should host? This guy has Path to Partner in his title. Let's host him. Sorry, just trying to find who I'm hosting. Here, I'm going to host Farham. I like Farham. He's grinding to level 100. You guys like Blaster content? You can watch him. But yep, thanks everybody for hanging out. It was a fun little stream. I'll be live tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.